Well, colleagues, we've had an absolutely fabulous day. I hadn't actually planned on being here all day. I had engagements this afternoon, but the day has been so good I've kind of transferred my office down here, which is always what digital transformation is about. So that's enabled me to be here, which has just been great. And I wouldn't want the day to end without having the chance to say a few words. I think just in terms of thanks, first of all, Nick, thank you very much. You've been a tremendous MC, and thanks to your great stewardship, you've got us through the day. Esther, Stephen, Colin, thank you for your presentations. I mean, particularly yourself, Steve, and Esther, we will pass on their thanks. I thought their contributions were really mind-blowing in terms of the changes that we need to make. So really content-rich. And thank you to our suppliers as well, Gabrielle, Tim, Stuart and Neil. You painted for us a much bigger canvas, which again, we will want to come back to you on to draw on that experience from elsewhere. I think so much of today has resonated for us, because listening particularly to Esther and Steve, I think we can see how this impacts on the delivery of your high-level strategies as a council, and it helps us do that. How there's real benefits for the people we serve, how there's cash benefits for the council, how it helps make sure that people get the help when they need it, and importantly, that we in turn can then focus on the people who need more of our help. And I'm indebted to Charles. Is Charles still with us? Yeah, hi Charles. I'm indebted to Charles for this, and I'm going to really use this in other places as well, because, you know, it's that focus on the people who really need that human connection, as Charles talks about, and for social services, and many of the services here, human connections are the platform. And I've listened carefully to the unconference sessions, and there's high level of interest and imagination and engagement and creativity, which we will absolutely want to build on and take forward. And everybody I've spoken to has a takeaway. Jim Lyons and the rest of his team were looking at how digital transformation can assist them focus on that human and very personal contact they want to have with people. So free up time so they're able to do much more of that, and move towards that 80-20 split that you want to see in your business. 80% working with people, 20% round about the paperwork. John and Laurie, and also in the back row, in corporate infrastructure, again, some really creative thinking there round about smart office, mobile working. Now that has an impact on our office accommodation strategy, and we'll need to ensure an important tie-in there. But Laurie's just thinking about, in support of our capital programme, how work assignments can be much smarter than they are just now. Is Murren still here from Health and Social Care? But again, looking at how this digital transformation can take place in our communities and our localities. Environmental health, just thinking about mobile working, and whilst protecting team time in mobile working and ensuring that the support that colleagues can get from one another is also protected. And Eric here sitting very quietly. Eric's thinking about traffic lights. And we don't think about them unless they're not working, but traffic lights are really important because they're the artery to our communities. They support connectivity, they support the delivery of our services, and they absolutely support the economy. So really important again, and it just shows how far-reaching this is. Some other thoughts just round about the day. Much of this we need to build on what we have done or we are doing just now. It occurred to me when we were talking about web chats, you know, we are now a 24/7 organisation. There isn't a week goes by when I don't thank the council and say thank goodness we've got our risk management centre, because it is a fabulous resource. But the risk management centre, is Ian Cuthbert still here? Yeah, you're already thinking of this probably. Risk management centre could be doing the web chat. We could be a 24/7 organisation. He wasn't thinking about it, was he? But, you know, we've got that. We want to build on it. That's what we've done all along. And the kind of customer contact centre, that walk in the floor that we saw down in Kirklees, we want to reshape customer contact in the centre of Kilmarnock. We want to look at how we can enhance our facility there. So there's a real opportunity now to look at how we do that, building on that experience from elsewhere. So, just moving forward then, I think we need to do this in bite-sized chunks. Again, I was struck by what Steve said round about work in 3-month cycles. If something's worth the candle, then do it. If it's not worth the candle, let's test it and let's move on. And, you know, if we're going to fail, then let's fail fast. We will make mistakes. You don't do anything new and not make mistakes. And, you know, let me say this to you loud and clear, and please hear me. If colleagues are working with good intentions, then I've got your back, and you will have my absolute support, because we will not achieve this unless we try and unless we take risks. So, moving forward, what next? Well, first of all to Roy, because a big thanks. Where are you, Roy? Oh, there. God, Roy, you couldn't get much nearer the door, could you? So, it will be witnessed that Roy's still got a job. And it will also be witnessed that all of his anatomy is still holding together. We will be moving from this being part of Roy's job to this being all of Roy's job, and I think that's a very important signal for us to make. But I do think we need to think about our takeaways, and there's just a selection that I've had from people. I think you need to go away and you need to think about your service and what other changes you want to make in your service, what changes we need to make to our systems and procedures, because these systems and procedures, they are us. Nobody else really enforced them on us. They are us, and because they are us, then we can change it. So if things need to change, then let us own that change. And I think we also need to think about how services want to engage with this incredibly important agenda. And I'll leave that for you to go and reflect on and come back on. Do you want to appoint members of staff who are going to, work with Roy as part of a team? Do you want to have people thinking in your service and championing this in your service? And the other point is just think about that point about getting young people involved. I'm not really surprised there was just a couple of people stood up for the under-30s today. When I look at the under-25s across the council, and I've shared this figure with many colleagues in the hall, I am shocked at how few people we employ under 25. And that's something that's got to change, because that's about the sustainability of the organisation, and we also want to tackle youth unemployment in our communities as well. So I'm really looking forward to seeing many of the initiatives we're supporting through graduate interns and modern apprenticeships bearing fruit. But we do need to think about how we're going to engage specifically with young people on this incredibly important agenda. And the first group of young people are our very own constituency here, the people who work for the council. So I'd ask you just to think about that as well. So with all of that in mind, we need to strike while the iron's hot. So what we're planning to do is to be back in this room 2 weeks today, 4 o'clock till 6 o'clock. Open invitation to all who are here, please, to attend. There'll be some things in your diaries I know that will be unavoidable, in which case I'm sorry you won't be here, but please ensure that your ideas and thoughts are represented. And what we will be seeking to do is to move this to the next stage. So reflect on your takeaways, bring them back, and let's get an agenda now round about this incredibly important area of work. It's just for me to thank you very much for the way in which you've engaged today. It has been an absolute joy, and I think it's the beginning of a really exciting journey. Thank you very much.